In the middle of the Caribbean Sea, a family is enjoying their vacation on their yacht. The mother, Julia, jumps into the water to swim. While relaxing, she feels something strange, but since nothing is visible around her, she thinks maybe it's just her imagination. A few seconds later, she feels the same strange sensation again. This time too, nothing appears, but now she gets scared and starts swimming back toward the yacht. Suddenly, something begins pulling her leg and she starts screaming loudly for help. Her daughter Casey is wearing headphones and listening to music, so she hears nothing. Husband Tom and son Ben are busy fishing. Julia tries to stay above the water, but because water is entering her mouth, screaming becomes difficult. A little while later, Tom realizes that he hasn't seen Julia for quite some time. He searches for her on the yacht and then finally sees his wife in danger. He calls the kids. He steers the yacht toward her and jumps into the water. He quickly reaches Julia, holds her, and swims back toward the yacht. The kids pull both of them up. The family helps Julia recover, but Julia convinces herself that maybe it all happened because of the waves. At night, they all celebrate Ben's birthday. Casey gets a call from her boyfriend, so she takes her laptop and goes outside. On the video call, her boyfriend shows that huge dark clouds have covered the city. The call glitches and freezes. Casey comes to tell the family about it, but Tom says that maybe the signal is weak because they are far from land. Just then, they all hear a sound. They go outside and see a group of whales passing by. Tom explains that whales always follow the Earth's magnetic field, but when a storm approaches, they get confused. Suddenly, the yacht shakes violently and Ben falls down. Tom worries that the yacht may have been damaged, so he dives underwater to check. After some time, he comes back to the surface, but there is a large wound on his shoulder. Julia immediately stitches his injury. Tom explains that underwater, he felt like there was a huge creature behind him. But when he turned around to look, the propeller cut him. He says whatever that thing was, it was very big. Tom sees a lot of damage to the yacht, so they need to call for help. Julia keeps trying the radio. Casey tries to find a signal on her phone but nothing works. Suddenly, Casey sees a strange creature and screams, but it's just Ben wearing a mask and trying to scare her. After a while, the yacht completely shuts down and gets stuck in the middle of the sea. Julia hears a voice on the radio, but the signal is so poor, she cannot understand anything. Tom tells the family that they only have food and water left for 4 days, and now they must wait for some fishing boat to come by. Suddenly something appears on the radar and the family hears a strange sound. They run outside and are shocked to see several meteoroids falling onto the ground. Wherever the meteoroids fall, huge explosions occur. One meteoroid falls into the water near them, so Tom tries to start the yacht. The engine barely starts, but then another meteoroid hits the area. The family holds each other tightly in fear. Then Tom realizes that the fiery balls falling from the sky are not meteoroids but satellites. Just then Ben sees smoke coming from the yacht. Tom checks and confirms that the engine is ruined. The wind starts blowing hard, so the family hides inside the yacht without noticing that the compass is spinning rapidly. The yacht begins shaking violently. Ben falls again and this time gets injured. Waves keep crashing against the yacht. Tom struggles to go outside and brings life jackets. Suddenly, the power goes out. Tom quickly presses the button on the power box and the lights come back. At that moment, Ben notices that Julia's nose is bleeding. Julia starts feeling dizzy while Casey runs to the sink and vomits. Tom keeps trying the radio but there's no signal. Suddenly, a loud high-pitched noise comes and the wind becomes even stronger. Julia tries to close the doors but one hatch opens and the wind starts breaking the windows. Tom lights a flare and after a while darkness takes over. The next morning, the family wakes up shocked that they survived the storm, but the yacht is half destroyed. When they go outside, they see that the ocean water has disappeared and the yacht is now stuck on land. They are shocked. Casey checks her phone for network but there is no signal at all. Ben starts playing with 2 dead crabs. Tom checks the compass and sees that it has flipped upside down. This last happened 7,700,000 years ago. Casey thinks her boyfriend must be dead and breaks down. When Julia tries to comfort her, Casey pushes her away and goes to hide. Julia and Tom check the remaining supplies. Ben ties his birthday balloons to a rock hoping maybe some survivor will see them. Tom tries the radio again, and this time he connects with a man. His name is Now, and he is the captain of a submarine. His submarine is also stuck on land. He confirms that the magnetic poles have reversed, due to which the ocean has retreated and the land has sunk. He says he hasn't seen any other survivors, and communication systems are completely down. He also says that the poles will reverse again and maybe in a week the ocean will return. He warns the family to climb to the highest point possible because when the water returns, it will be extremely dangerous. He says his partner died in the crash and the submarine has space for only 3 people. Julia and Tom beg him to please save their children. he gives them his coordinates. Tom calculates that it will take 2 to 3 days to reach the submarine. He tells the family to rest well tonight. Tomorrow morning they will start the journey. The next morning, the family is packing their things. Suddenly Tom sees something moving nearby. It's a limping man holding a harpoon, with a dog barking constantly. Tom approaches him and gives him a bottle of water. But the man speaks in some language Tom cannot understand. After drinking water, the stranger suddenly hits Tom on the head with the bottle and kicks him hard in the face. Julia runs in fear, but it's too late. The man thrusts the harpoon into Tom's stomach. Tom struggles for a few moments and then the man also slits his throat. Then the man runs after Julia and throws the harpoon at her, injuring her shoulder. Enduring the pain, Julia runs inside the yacht and tells the kids to hide. She locks the door. Casey and Ben crawl under the sofa. Julia gives them the flare gun and hides in the bathroom with a knife. The man pounds heavily on the door and eventually breaks in. First, he grabs some food, then starts searching the yacht. He goes toward the bathroom, but Julia cleverly escapes through a small opening. The man thinks Julia ran away, but as she tries to sneak out, his dog sees her and starts barking. The dog jumps at her, so Julia kills it with the knife. Hearing the dog scream, the man comes out and becomes furious seeing his dog's corpse. Meanwhile, Julia tries to enter from the other side of the yacht. She climbs up and tries to enter through a broken window, but the man gets there first. He catches her and punches her hard, making her fall. Julia tries to survive by holding onto some furniture, but the man kicks her away. Then he steps on her wrist so she drops the knife, grabs her hair, slams her face on the floor, throws her onto the couch, and starts strangling her. The kids see everything. Casey rushes out and fires the flare gun, hitting the man directly. He catches fire and flames spread across the yacht. The kids immediately run away. But Julia comes back. She kicks the man down, grabs the map and the bag, and runs away. Ben and Casey go to their father's body and start crying. Julia sits with them and the three say their tearful final goodbye to Tom. Just then, the monstrous man comes out of the burning yacht again, so the family runs. Moments later, the yacht explodes with a huge blast. After walking some distance, they stop near a small waterfall to rest. Casey thinks maybe the crazy man came to them because he saw the balloons. Hearing this, Ben blames himself. Julia comforts him, saying it's not his fault, and tells everyone to move because the man is still chasing them. On the way, near a small pond, Ben sees a dead hammerhead shark and is shocked. Julia notices that the man is close again. They all start running and fall down a sand dune. There they see toxic waste. The family carefully crosses it and feels like they have finally escaped the man. Walking further, they see giant dead sea animals and all the plastic that was lying underwater. Ben starts slowing down and Julia realizes he is close to dehydration. She tells everyone to stop. When she checks the water bottle, she is shocked it's almost empty. Casey realizes maybe she didn't close it properly. Julia angrily yells that because of her carelessness, the water is gone. Casey replies, "What's the point? We are not going to survive anyway." They argue for a long time. Still, the family continues walking. After some time, they find a crashed plane. They get scared seeing something move inside, but it's just some birds. They decide to spend the night inside the plane. They share a small snack and Julia finds a family photo inside Tom's jacket. Her heart breaks. Casey asks, "Mom, what was your and Dad's love story?" Julia smiles and tells her, "Tom was my patient in the hospital. One day, he confessed his love by giving me flowers and a sweet poem." At night, Casey goes outside the plane. Suddenly, the crazy man tries to grab her from behind, but Julia attacks him from behind and stabs him repeatedly, killing him. Casey hugs her mother tightly. The next morning, insects cover the man's corpse. The family notices bite marks all over his body, which means some dangerous creature is hidden in this area. As soon as they leave, crabs start crawling out of his mouth. A few hours later, Julia and Casey are looking at the map, but Ben wanders ahead. Julia shouts, "Stop!" But Ben bends down near a pond and starts drinking water. Julia quickly pulls him back and warns that unknown water could make him sick. The sun gets very harsh, so they cover their heads with cloth. Ben starts feeling dizzy. Then they find some old chairs and Julia and Casey build a temporary shelter. Julia gives Ben an injection and decides they will spend the night there. In the morning, Julia hears a strange sound and wakes up. When she goes outside, she sees a large swarm of crabs coming toward them. She immediately wakes the kids and they start running. While running, they spot a large cargo ship. 3 crew members are alive. One woman wants to help them, but the other 2 refuse and lock the container, leaving the family outside. The crabs get closer. Julia lifts her kids up onto the container. As she climbs, the crabs bite her leg badly. The kids pull her up just in time. Through a hole in the container, many crabs get inside. The crew members start shooting, but the crabs overpower them and kill both. The last man climbs toward the roof opening, but the crabs pull him down and kill him too. Julia bandages her wound and faints. After a while, she wakes up alone in a sandstorm. She panics and starts searching for the kids. She picks up the weapon of a dead woman and shouts loudly. Casey hears her and comes back, saying she and Ben went looking for help but found no one. Then they find Ben near an open container where they can stay until the storm ends. Julia takes out Tom's lighter and burns her wound to close it, a painful process. After the storm ends, they find another container filled with water bottles. While checking the bodies, they also find a radio and a gun. Julia contacts the submarine and says they lost the map. Now tells them that arthropods attacked them. They are now land creatures driven mad because of oxygen. Now tells the family to hurry because his instruments show the ocean will return sooner than expected. They have only a few hours. He shoots a flare and the family walks in that direction. After a long walk, they come across a broken toilet where Ben pees. Then they finally see the submarine nearby. But to reach it, they must cross a rocky passage. As they cross, the walls start shaking and rocks begin falling, causing a terrifying rock slide. Julia pushes her kids aside to save them. A stone wall now separates them. Julia tells the kids to go ahead without her, but Casey refuses and insists that her mother must try to climb. After a lot of arguing and shouting, Julia promises she will find them later. Casey reluctantly pulls Ben forward. The kids climb the rocky area and run toward the submarine, but when they reach it, they find now lying outside covered in blood. He explains that it's over for him and now the kids can take the submarine, thinking there will be one extra seat. Casey runs back to find her mother. Meanwhile, Julia sees the crabs coming and starts firing. She kills some of them, but the swarm is too big. Just then Casey appears at the top of the wall and reaches out her hand. Julia, despite her injured leg, climbs fast. With Casey's help, she gets to the other side and they both run toward the submarine. Ben is already standing above and starts firing to distract the crabs until the family climbs up. As soon as the crabs reach the submarine's body, they begin eating it. Julia grabs the gun and keeps firing until the kids get inside. When they are safe, Julia realizes the bullets are finished, so she throws the gun at the crabs and enters the submarine. The family locks the hatch tightly and looks out the window to see crabs all around the submarine. At that moment, the ocean returns. The three quickly sit in their seats, fasten the belts, and hold each other's hands. Massive waves toss the submarine violently. Julia sees visions of their entire journey and Casey starts vomiting. Soon, the high-pitched sound returns and the family falls unconscious. After a while, Julia and the kids regain consciousness and are relieved to be alive. They unlock the hatch and come out to see that the waves have dropped the submarine into a destroyed city, meaning now there is hope to stay alive and start a new life, and this is where the film ends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you get more amazing videos like this. Thanks for watching.